Outer Orange. Card gamers, welcome to another video. OuterOrange here today. We are here to discuss good old Zorga. That's right, we recently just got a new reveal of Zorga, and I wanted to briefly give you guys a really short kind of opinion of how I feel about this card, because there's been a lot of kind of like this about the card. Like there was a lot of excitement and then it kind of just dipped really fast. So I'm gonna tell you guys kind of what my thoughts are on this card and where this card could potentially go in the future. Welcome in, Zorga lovers, and anyone else out there that's watching. Welcome to my channel. Let's get started. Vanguard's official like Twitter here. We're gonna scroll down. They, by the way, have a lot of cool new merch. Oh yeah, I should be speaking of merch. If you still need cards, don't forget to shop at 50cards.shop. Use my code Orange if you need anything that you're just looking for or that you need for Springfest. Also, just recently got a TCG affiliate link, so you can check that out below if you want to shop through my specific link. It'll save me some money while you're doing your thing shopping. I know you love TCG play out there, so why not use my link and help a girl out. But anyway, that guys, so yeah, merch. But anyway, so this is actually really cool. Actually, like the stuff, my Lyrical Monasterio shirt's coming in. I'm like really excited. The merch has been like really killer on Bushido, by the way. I'm not like just like, I don't like, they didn't ask me to do this, but we just think the merch is like actually like, very legit. But anyway, aside from the merch, down below we have the Zorga card. Let's go find it. Here we have the official. This is Dead Sea Spiritualist Grave equals Zorga. A very interesting name for him. I assume that this gives me like really crazy DMC vibes. I'm feeling that dynamic kind of thing, like the transformation type of thing, and I think it's really cool. But anyway, so he has a couple skills. His first skill is continuous on Vanguard. If you did Alchemagic this turn, all your front units gets 5k power. It's continuous, it's 5k consistently there, so anytime you have new potential units that come on the board, they will have the additional 5k. So it really indicates a potential multi-attacking type of mechanic, but we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. Is a chance. I would genuinely think that if they give something like this, like the way they word it, there's a chance that I might actually, you know, bring it back. But he does have a secondary skill. It says right here, act Vanguard once per turn. You can Soul Blast a card. You can Soul Blast one, discard a card from hand, choose a normal order from your drop, put it into your hand until end of turn. When you would play a normal order, you can bind a normal order with a different card name from your drop and Alchemagic. So essentially, you put it into your hand and then you instantly play Alchemagic. What's nice about this is that you get instant access to Alchemagic, like literally right then and there. It just gives it straight for you. It's great. There are some downsides to this card, and the downside is like probably pretty much everything else. Like the downside is you can't revive anymore with Cannon Blast. Upside is you don't have to worry about the Cannon Blast. Downside is like you can't use GDR anymore. GDR is restricted to the Zorga, the original Zorga name, not this one. It does say specifically which Zorga, doesn't state any Zorga, which would have been cool, but they did restrict it to that specific Zorga. So there's that downside, and you know you get that like plus 5k, but you know you're losing out on like, you know, that GDR, which is really good. You're losing on the revival, which would be really nice because you could just free revive something on top of your normal stuff. It kind of makes the dog kind of less useful. Now you're hearing me say all this, but there is an upside to this. So I'm saying all these things, that all these cards are currently not useful. That's because those cards are meant for the blue Zorga. They're meant for the old Zorga. But we don't really have any cards for this specific Zorga yet. Like and we probably will. The only thing that really works well with this Zorga is actually the reviving dragons. They become 20k beaters with crits on them because they get 10k from their own skill, they get a crit from their own skill, and then they get 5k from this. So essentially you get 20k attackers on both sides, and you can just keep spamming that concept over and over again. There's also a thing of you don't whiff your Alchemagic as easily now. If you use the dogs earlier, you don't have to worry about missing Alchemagic as quickly now because you don't have to just fear that anymore. A high potential chance that there will be some really good stuff coming out specifically that applies to this Zorga and maybe even the old one, because like that's the thing right now, in my personal opinion. I haven't fully tested this yet, but I can definitely see that currently this particular Zorga isn't as good, but it doesn't mean that it can't get better. And with stuff, as stuff starts coming out, and they might even focus more on this guy here, that or there might be orders coming out that make sense to play more with this guy than to play with our previous Zorga. Now something else I want to bring out, that this Zorga versus the other Zorga is almost like a meta call decision. For example, if we are in a meta where counterblasts are just really heavy to use, maybe against prison, maybe a prison gets some kind of new mechanic that makes it harder to counterblast, it may make more sense to play this Zorga instead. But what's cool about this is that you're literally giving the option to now. You can choose between which Zorga you want to play. You don't only have this choice as well with the grade 4s, because you can choose to play only the grade 3s, but it just makes sense to play the grade 4s, right? But in this case, you can pick either or, maybe even both. I don't know if you can even fit both with a deck like this, but you know what I mean? So like the fact that you can make a meta decision to pick one Zorga over the other, I think is is like super cool, and it's something that is a really well thought out concept, because like something can change. That's what I want people to realize. Not necessarily look at the power level of the card, but look at what the card can bring for the future, because currently, yes, there is a little bit of kind of clunkiness with it. It's not the greatest card ever. It is beautiful, by the way. Art is like art is amazing. It's a Zorga card, but you know, I can definitely see where like the issues can be, but it can come back. Of course, it's not going to be as great. It doesn't have the support towards it as much as we have with the previous Zorga, so it makes sense that it doesn't work as well. But just like with the old Zorga, you know, we saw that the card wasn't working as well, and then as we start getting better support, we start seeing more things that worked with it, and it just started becoming a good deck. And the same situation could be happening here. There's a reason why this Zorga specifically has a front row boost all the time. There may be something that comes out that will work with that front row boost and just make everything better. This is a more aggressive deck. Maybe it'll be better for a more aggressive meta, whereas Zorga can be more of a stall / control type of deck, and maybe you can use old Zorga to do that. So if you're in a meta where you need to stall out more or you need to survive longer, then maybe you can go into the old Zorga. And that is something I want to just like make clear out there to everybody. That's kind of where you start making these decisions. And I'm not saying like that's going to happen right this very second. It may be a while. I don't know. I have no idea what the future holds for Zorga, but what I can tell you is based off what I'm looking at, I can already see that I can start making choices in the future based off of what I'm seeing in meta. I'm already doing it with the current Zorga. I have played aggressive Zorga, I have played control Zorga, I have played order-based Zorga, I've played a lot of different Zorga decks just based off the meta that I'm seeing. Anyway, that's my rant. I do want to talk about the second card that we did get, because it's actually really awesome and I'm really excited for it. So let's go talk about the second card that was also part of this. Clouded Mesma, if that's a real term. Anyway, it says play this card with the cost of 1 counterblast. You choose a grade 3 or less from your drop, call it to rear, and if this is part of Alchemy Magic, choose one of your vanguards and it gets continuous. All your front row units get 5k power. It's also a really good card, and this card actually works really well with the new Zorga as well as working with the old Zorga. Makes you can actually combine this with GDR and just do some pretty nice stuff. The fact that you can call a grade 3 or less is just absolutely insane. You can literally call pretty much anything from your drop zone that is of some kind of grade. There is no, of course you can't call a grade 4, but you can literally call any other grade, and that's amazing because your dragons are going to revive anyway, right? So your dragons are coming out, so you can literally just call a 1 for a booster. You could call Doggy if you have something else that you might want to revive. I don't know, you can set up with it. You can just put something behind Vanguard, you know, for later. You could put a crit back there, like, you know, you just have choices of pretty much calling whatever you want, and it's great. And on top of that, you're getting an additional 5k to your front row, which is also really good. On top of, you know, the new Zorga's front row or our GDR with the old Zorga, you kind of have options full, and the fact that you don't have to rely on your opponent's board makes it even better. That's something I've never really been a fan of with the current cards that we've been getting that involve you getting your board back, is you have to like retire something on your opponent's side to then get something back on your side. I like the fact that I don't have to do that. I kind of like just having my choice. I've always been a my choice type of person. Like, I just like choosing what goes on my board instead of being forced to pick into certain options. And even though, yeah, it's like whatever, but there is like a difference between the optimal choice and like a, oh well, I guess I don't have any other choice, I guess I'll choose this type of thing. That's that. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I didn't want this video to go super long. I didn't want to go on a super rant. I've just been seeing a lot of ups and downs between people talking about Zorga, people that have been playtesting Zorga, and I just wanted to give you guys kind of my feedback where I stand on it, and just remind you that Overdress isn't always about like the best and strongest card that comes out right this very second. Overdress is starting to lean, and it's been leaning towards this way, towards the concept of making meta decisions. The heal triggers are proving to be this exact same thing. We're seeing the same thing with this. We're even seeing this with the grade 4s. It's less, but we're seeing it with the grade 4s too. Some people do prioritize Persona Ride over having the grade 4 target. Like, it's just these little minor decisions that people can make now that actually make a difference between like the people that deck build their decks separately from each other. And that's cool. It's cool to see that people make these microtransaction decisions that can change the overall perspective of A, the format, and B, how you deck build as a player. So it's really exciting. I'll see you guys probably in the future for a potential premium collection reveal, or maybe I'll be talking about premium collection. I'm revealing, as you guys know, it's gonna be next week. It's next Friday, so stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to show y'all what's coming in store. Premium is looking really hype. Overdress is hype. V Premium is hype. I legit do not know where to put myself anymore because my excitement is just everywhere. It's just like this. It's just everywhere. Anyway, guys, peace out. Das vidanya. See you guys next time. Stay awesome. Stay great. Bye.